My minions! We conquered the lands of Santalor and drained it of all of its riches. It submitted before my power and it was glorious! Well, actually, we kind of have a bit of a problem. Yes, well, you see, my enchantingly beautiful, intelligent, but cunning and scornful harpy bride kind of locked us out of the dungeon. Yeah, about that. She kind of burned my spellbooks and threw out my favorite staff, and my kitty familiar Sprinkles seems to be missing too. Yes, the gold was being held as a retainer to the divorce goblins. Although I did just hear that they spent it all on some giant statue of the Goblin King. Goblins can't be trusted. Now? What do we do now, you ask? Well, we will do what we are good at. We shall devour a new land, and we shall dig again.
Welcome to Season 2 of Keeper Roguelike! Yeah, I've been thinking about coming back to this game for quite some time now, but I wanted to be sure that some of the alpha gaps have been filled first before returning. And let me tell you, so very much has been added, fixed, and changed that I can only go through some of the many changes and additions that have been added to the game since our last playthrough. First and foremost, the game now has sound effects, 40 to be exact. Yes, that's right. All of the sound effects we heard before were in our heads. So 1 point goes to KeeperRL and 0 to our imaginations, which will now have to find new ways to keep alive and active. Yay! On top of that, you can now find friendly villages and traders, even buy recruits to build your armies like orcs or whatever. There's multiple new epic villains like giant spiders, the Minotaur, Hydra. There's tons of new graphics for objects and creatures, a whole bunch of new question mark events. I'm not even going to get into those. A myriad of UI updates to make the game easier, give you more information. Well, not necessarily easier, but just give you more information and make it just easier to navigate. And so much more. I can't even begin to explain it all. And there's like legendary creatures and stuff. Oh yeah, so anyway, we're just gonna get into the game. I think that's the best way to do this. Okay, play a game, and of course we're gonna be playing as a keeper again. We may try the adventure, it all depends. So the plan was last time that we were gonna play as a keeper, and then when we fail, play as an adventure just for fun, you know, 1 for 1. But we did so well last time, but trust me, it was a complete fluke, because this is actually in fact a very hard game to win. It's just that one time I recorded, and it happened to be the first time I recorded this game, I did very well. I don't expect that to happen again quite in the same way, so I'm basically just giving myself an excuse to fail already, but whatever. Anyways, we're gonna play as a keeper. Of course, Deluks. Of course, Generation Seed E? Oh, let's just enter in something random. It's a Generation Seed. Let's add Deluks and see what happens. Right, and then of course you guys at home can play along as well. And done. Here we go, creating a new world just for you. I'm so excited. So I went back and I just kind of refreshed a little bit on how to play, but I haven't played any serious amount of time, of course, since the last time. So just a refresher. So, Warlock, you were dabbling in the dark arts. A tad, I see. Welcome to the Welcome to the Valley of Aldran, where you'll have to do what you can to keep yourself together. Build room, storage units, and workshops to endorse your minions. The only way to go forward in this world is to destroy the ones who oppose you. Use the mouse to dig into the mountains. You can select rectangular areas. Use the shift key, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, because we already know that stuff. All right, so we're gonna pause it. All right, so here we go again. If you're new to this series, I encourage you, go watch my first series where we kind of learned together a little bit how to play this game. And of course, I explain a little bit more of the controls and stuff. Not much has changed in terms of the controls. There's been a few things, but nothing serious. Like the basics of the game is essentially the same still. So I'm not gonna go over that again. I'm just gonna start playing. Of course, like I usually do, I like to take a look at the map and see what we've got here. So, okay, so all of these question marks, of course, are events, and we're gonna kind of steer away from them at the beginning. At the beginning, you kind of want to steer away from anything that's hostile because you're so vulnerable. Like, honestly, your keeper starts at level 5, and you have 4 imps. That's it. And the imps don't fight. So, oh, a +3 unarmed attack. Maybe they can fight, but I don't think they fight very well. But anyway, okay, so let's, lots of gold. Look at that. Look at all that gold. Ooh, lots. Okay, so I think, of course, you know, we're going to do a little bit of exploring carefully with our keeper, and we'll, who knows, we might even die here. If we die right away, of course, we will start over. I don't expect to do as well as we did last time. We did so good. Yeah. Oh, also, I want to remind everybody, of course, all of you that are watching, please leave, if you're interested in becoming a creature, one of my minions, of course, leave a note in the comment section below that you are interested in becoming a minion. Unlike last time, I can't guarantee any positions. So in other words, if you want to be a vampire, that's great. You may end up being an imp. Just because it got pretty complicated near the end there, trying to figure out who wanted to be what. And yeah, it's just tricky. So, but if you're interested in becoming any one of my minions, just leave your interest in the comments below with the name that you would like to have as one of our minions in this playthrough. And or whatever playthrough, you know, like that we may have a couple playthroughs here because we may die right away. I don't know, but I don't know because these roguelike games can be pretty aggressive sometimes. Okay, so I'm kind of entering into possibly dangerous territory. Yeah, okay, well, I think, actually, just looking at this map, I think if we start... Oh, I wish this question mark wasn't right there. Well, let's go look north because there might be a water feature. The nice thing about this game, and in that it is kind of forgiving at the beginning because nobody's interested in attacking you unless you, like, walk on top of them. Unless you're powerful. Like, as you gain power... of course, that's when people want to come out and attack you. So at the beginning, you kind of have the freedom of time. There's really not a lot of time limit at the beginning. Okay, so there's not as much for trees up here, and not that that's a huge deal, of course. It's really easy to get a lot of wood, so I'm not too worried about that. That's an easy resource. Yeah, I'm concerned, like, if we build north, you know, is there any water? So sometimes water can kind of... I think they're friendly. Hello, Mr. Orc? Hello? Hello? Yes, they're friendly. Okay, so this is one of the things that I was talking about. In the game now, you can actually recruit and trade with friendly guys, and this is one of them. I think this is one of the recruiting posts, so we can actually recruit orcs from this post. But we can't do it yet. I think we actually have to have our dungeon established. Yeah, because eventually we get a little option to do it here. So that's really exciting. We already found a place to recruit orcs. Ah, great. Oh, that's so good. And I think it's fairly cheap. But that means, of course, we have to establish a treasure chest right away, which, of course, will draw in bandits, and that's never good. So every move you make has a consequence in this game. It's one of the things I love. Okay, so I think... Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's... I think we're going to go right here. Yeah, so basically... Yeah, okay, let's see. We're going to leave control. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to hit D, and we're going to start digging. And we're going to dig in, and, of course, whoops, right in here. And this will be sort of a main foyer. And I don't know, maybe we'll make this a training room. That's sometimes a good idea to do a training room right near the beginning. But I like the idea of having traps before the training room. But this, I don't know, it's not bad to have a nice big room at the beginning. I don't know, we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll do some beasts or something in here, or I don't know. But yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, so let's do that, and then we'll go in, and we're going to take a hard right, and then we're going to go back down, and then we're going to go like this, and we're going to take another, whoops, hard left, go up. So what this is going to be the gauntlet. We'll call it the gauntlet. Maybe I made that a little too long, actually. Because our imps still got to get in and out of here fairly easily, so I think that's just a little too long. I want it longer than last time. Last time we made them a little too short, so our boulder traps weren't as effective. I found that I thought they were kind of getting away from them. Now, you don't have to do traps at the beginning of your dungeon. You could do all of your core stuff sort of at the beginning and then do your library last and then do a bunch of traps right before the library, right? So, but that means that technically guys could, you know, basically destroy all of your minions and then get killed by your traps, which is, I don't know, I'd rather do the traps first and then have them face minions. Just so that they're kind of softened targets at that point, right? Okay, so let's go. We'll turn right here. Whoops. I want to have, you know, some nice, good, long boulder traps. Oh, another thing that you can do in this game is you can actually fill up so that if you dig something out, you can actually fill it back up with dirt. Isn't that great? I love that. Okay, so we'll do 3 because of course we're gonna go down and get this gold eventually, but we're not gonna do that right away. There, I think that'll be good for boulder traps. Whoops. Oh, we should have done a boulder trap here too as well. Oh man, okay, actually, yeah, we gotta fix that. Sorry, guys. This is the most important part. You gotta make sure your entrance is right. Because if it's not, of course, it's really hard to fix later. But it does help that we can fill in the land too now, but yeah, we want to try and do it right first. Measure twice, build once. Something like that. Instead of build twice, measure once? No. Measure once, build twice? Yeah, that doesn't sound as good. Yeah. And the nice thing is we could do boulder traps on these little corners too as well. Although they're not as effective because what happens is the guy will come around the corner, the boulder trap will launch and then they'll go back, right? They'll run away from it, right? So yeah, they're pretty good at getting away from that. Okay, so that's good. And then we can come, whoops. Might as well get my imps working. Okay, let's go slow for now. And actually, let's build a couple more imps. Not that it matters too much at the beginning here, but we do have 200 mana, so we'll throw down a couple more imps. Yeah, all right. Good, and let's go. Let's dig some more. Come around here, and we'll do another pit trap like that. We'll hit the corner, come up. Oh, maybe that's a little far. I want to be, yeah, like that. It's easier. Hold down shift. There we go. That's easier. There we go. Perfect. There, we get there's lots of boulder traps. We can do another boulder trap there. We can do another boulder trap there. Yeah, that'll be pretty good. Boulder traps are, I think, the best trap in this game. Of course, they still don't have, they haven't added any more traps, which is a little disappointing. Because what about, like, pit traps and, you know, there's tons of different types of traps. So I'm kind of hoping that they do add more traps. Yeah, because that's a little limiting, but whatever. Because the only one that's really, really good is a boulder trap. The poison traps don't work on everybody, like Lizardman, it doesn't work on everybody. Okay, so we're gonna do some storage, just some basic storage at the beginning here. So I think, yeah, and you only need one storage spot. That will hold everything. So in all this granite that we're getting, of course, they can put all the granite in that, and they can, of course, put all of the ore in that too as well. So you only need one spot, and then we can move that spot later. And the imps will magically, so in other words, when the imps go to build something, they magically have access to anything that you have in a storage spot. So it's not like they have to access that later. So that was something I learned near the end of our last series. So that's kind of cool. And of course, we'll do an equipment storage here as well too, just to start. Of course, we are going to move those because that stuff can be stolen too as well. Bad guys come in here and steal it. So, okay, so we are going to do. Not as interested in the gold right now. Definitely want this ore though. So I think we'll do a little tunnel going here. Get this ore. Whoops. Screwed that up. I screwed up that room. I like to have either fun, you know, really interesting looking rooms or perfectly square rectangle rooms. Like I don't like that, but whatever, that's fine. It's fine. It's not where we're probably, oh, this would make a good beast room, actually. Oh, that's a really good idea. So what we can do to fix it is we can just go like that. And that fixes it. Then we can do a door there. Yeah, that works. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, that'll be a good place for a beast room. Beast room, I like to have the beast room kind of on the like the edge of the colony. That way they can, because they tend to go and they do a lot of the exploring part, right? So that's actually a really good place for them. But last time I found that they were kind of in the middle of the bad guys when they came in, so they would get killed by the miasma, so we don't want that to happen either. All right, so let's dig through this granite. This will be a great place for our training room. And I like to do fancy training rooms. I don't know why, and maybe it's probably not practical, but I don't care. I like fancy training rooms. So we'll start with a basic room like that, and then we're gonna do some pillars on the edge. Yes! Oh, that'll look cool. Yes, some pillars on the edge like that. And I like symmetrical rooms too as well. It is my preference. It doesn't have to be symmetrical, but it is my preference. Hopefully I don't screw this up. If I do, I know you guys will yell at me. That's okay. Yeah, that's gonna look really good. That's gonna look really good. I like. It reminds me of Dwarf Fortress, of course, doing the pillars and. Oh, did I screwed that up? See, I already screwed it up. I knew it was gonna happen. There we go, like that, and then like that. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress. It's always fun to make really cool chambers, right? So I try to do the same thing in this game too as well. Although it's not as practical because the center of the room is where you get the most efficiency from your guys, and when you do stuff like this, the center isn't as efficient. And trust me, it doesn't work as well. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to make that a little bit wider. There, that should be good. And we still get the pillar effect too as well. That'll look nice. All right, and then of course that's going to come out like that, and then we'll do another. This can be like the food room. It doesn't have to be that big. Don't want it too small. Now the food room, like the pigsty, that if it's big enough will give you an extra 4 populations. So I think that's probably big enough. If we need it bigger, we can, or actually what we can do is we can actually make it fancy. Fancy. There we go. Food room. Awesome. And of course we want our dormitory fairly close to this. So yeah, what I do basically is build our dungeon around the resources. So yeah, and that way my dungeons are always very different. Oh, that's looking good already. That looks great. And of course, we're not going to be attracting any beasts right away because the beasts tend to go out and find bad guys too quickly. And we don't want to draw any attention to ourselves because that's a quick way to... Uh-oh. Okay, so we found some water. Yeah, that's always a problem, but it does make the dungeon look nicer, doesn't it? I like water features. It looks good. Okay, so that's going to be our food room. And then, I guess, yeah, lots of room for... lots of traps in here, so we'll do a nice little corner there. Let's see, what can we do with this room? So this will do that'll make a good dormitory. I think we'll make that into a dormitory. We'll have that kind of going in like that. I like the dormitory fairly close to the training room so that they're not wandering around the dungeon too much to try and get there. And then of course we can come up this way. And we could probably do another resource thing or move our resource. Actually, that's probably a good idea. So let's go here. We're going to go orders. We're going to remove, orders and remove construction to that resource area. And we're going to move it up here. And they will shift all of those resources up. And I'm going to move that later. It's just temporary position for it. Yeah, so they're going to move all that up too as well. But now they don't have to travel that far, of course, to put the new stuff down. Okay, so let's keep going here. Okay, so this is where the orcs are. Let's do what's another one we don't want them traveling too far? So this can be like our equipment and resource room. Actually, that's a great idea. Perfect, we'll do this. That doesn't have to be that big though. So, yeah, let's make that a little bit smaller. Yeah, perfect. That's just where we're gonna put swords and weapons and stuff. Actually, I like to make that a little bit wider. That way I can see what we're putting down. So you can technically put all of your equipment and all of your resources in one square. I know I already said that, but I want to reiterate that. But with equipment, if you have it spread out a little bit, you can kind of get a better idea of what kind of equipment that you have. Just makes it a little bit easier to identify at a glance from a distance. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. Of course, make it look kind of cool too as well. And of course, we can do just our basic resources back in here or something. Perfect, that looks great. All right, so now we have to think about our manufactories. Oh, and we've got some resources down here too as well that we can go get. But we will use this, go through here to get that. I like to get all of the underground stuff, all the underground resources kind of dug up right away. I know this isn't the most tremendously exciting part, but you know, it's just easier to get all this done right away rather than mess around with it later. I find anyway. I don't know. Well, it's kind of another funny shaped room. Oh well, it's fine. That's fine. That's actually what we'll do. No, 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 no. Don't do it like that. Let's clear this. And we'll go like that. That way it's more of a room. You know what this reminds me of? Like, playing D&D, like, when I was a kid. And actually, you know, like, actually, well, I used to DM a lot. I don't know if that makes me sound cooler or not. But anyway, I used to do DM a lot. And the original Dungeons and Dragons, like the original game, used to, all of the dungeons you used to play used to have like these hollowed out rooms. And I don't know if it's still like that. It just, I don't know, it reminds me of that. It's reminiscent. And okay, very good. Okay, so they're working on that. Let's work on where we're going to put our manufacturing and stuff. Let's see if there are any more question marks up here. Okay, so there's one over here. So we do have to kind of watch that because we don't want to run into any bad guys right now. I suppose we could actually start putting down our training room and a dormitory. That's probably a really good idea. So we can actually start attracting some ogres and orcs. We could even buy some, I think. I don't know. We'll have to see. I think we have to have a dorm down first before we can buy some. Okay, so all of our manufacturing and stuff is going to go in here, but this will be a good chance for us to see what's over here. There might be some more water or something, so got to be careful because this water could actually flow through here. And of course, that makes an extra entrance into our dungeon, so we have to be really, really careful. So actually, maybe we should only build a little bit at a time, or dig a little bit at a time just in case, right? And we could technically... And of course, I always put my library right near the very, very, very end, so they have to travel through everything. Bad guys have to travel through, or good guys, however you want to look at it, have to travel through the entire dungeon to get, and through all the traps and through all of our guys in order to get to that place where they can actually get to our keeper. And this time, I'm kind of thinking I want to make my keeper tougher this time. So last time we really didn't train our keeper and we didn't use our keeper very much. It's always risky to use your keeper because if you lose your keeper, it's all over, right? Okay, training room is going up, and we're going to put our dormitory right here. Well, just a small dorm right now, nothing big, because we don't want to draw any attention to ourselves right away. And we should start getting some guys. So yeah, if you want to be somebody in our dungeon, of course, let me know in the comments below. Last time was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people involved in our dungeon. It was very cool. So we're just kind of waiting for that to happen. Okay, so let's start slowly digging out here. Just a little bit at a time. Because you can tell if you're going to start running into water, you can tell in advance because you have a little bit of a vision. 3 in every direction, so you can kind of see what's coming. And if we are about to run into, of course, water, we want to know in advance so that we can maybe avoid it or something. Okay, so that's good. And then we can put our manufactory and all that kind of good stuff here. And we've got enough room there to do autosave. Okay, and then we can do a boulder trap there. Whoops. And then we're going to do a boulder trap here. Oh no, we're out of time already. First episode, yeah, you know, I just kind of, I wanted it to be a fairly short episode before we started attracting too many guys, and of course, big intro for this one too as well. And that way we can have names for everybody by next episode. That is kind of the goal. And I'm going to try to do 1 episode a week, 2 if it might work out to be 2, that would be great. I always want to do more than 1, but you know, it's just time. You guys know me, right? I don't have enormous amounts of time, but yeah, so this is going to be super exciting. I'm super thrilled. The dungeon's looking good. I think we're going to do our manufactories here. I'm not going to make them as big this time. I think they were too big last time. I think, yeah, we kind of went overboard with everything. I think we'll do, yeah, about that size. I think that'd be, yeah, I think that'll look really good, actually. And then we can do a ritual room. The ritual room has to look really good. I want to do the ritual room a little sooner this time. The ritual room is how we get like the doppelgangers and the really odd creatures. We could actually kind of have it. We could actually have it down here. That wouldn't hurt. But we don't have to worry about that right yet. We don't have the mana for it anyway. We'll do the manufactories first. Get those in. And those don't have to be fancy or anything. They can just be plain looking rooms. It's kind of the industrial sector of the industrial portion of the dungeon. There we go. That'll look really good. And of course, our library, we want to get that down pretty quick. Oh, and actually, while we're just sitting here not doing anything, I know we're out of time, but whatever. We can actually get our keeper. Don't worry about studying or laboratory. I want him to train. Do a lot of training this time because, of course, we're going to be using him. He's going to be out and helping us fight the bad guys out in the field, which means this could be a really short episode. And a huge, huge mistake. But it's going to be super fun. All right, guys, I'm going to call that an episode. I look forward to hearing your comments and the names that you want me to use. And this is going to be a lot of fun. All right, guys, take care. See you soon.